What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Andy the Middle-Aged Gamer and this is the build video for the BPW US SOCOM MCX S.U.R.G kit and low receiver group. This is the full build for the full kit. This is no half-assing on this channel, so let's do this, okay? Okay, so let's start with the low receiver, shall we? So you're going to want to put your gun into semi. Okay, for now, make sure it's in there. I'm going to turn this over like this. So we've got the hole exposed. That is going to be where you put your detent. Now YouTube, if you're watching this, this is an airsoft toy. This is not a how-to video or anything like that. I'm just putting things together as I've got so I can do a demonstration for you guys. So, all right, it's not really hard. It's pretty self-explanatory. The fat pin goes here, dropped in. The detent for it just goes in there and that gets stuck on there, okay? That's that part done. Next, we're going to need to get a Allen key for this. So that is you. We need a longer one. Obviously, is that right? Let me try. See if the next one up. I think that one's a bit too. Yeah, that one's too wide. So it was right. Okay. So all we're going to do is put a grip on here. Okay. Now, like I say, I will be swapping this out eventually. I just want to put that forward for you guys. Now, of course, let's put it up a minute because that does need to go down a bit. All right. Okay. Now we can screw you in there a minute. I'm going to put you on that and add you in. Then all we have to do is tighten it down. Okay, this is one of the hardest parts, is putting the grip on. There we go. Starting to grip it now. There we go. Now, as you can now hear, allows us to work. So while it's in semi, flick to full, disconnect, there you go. So it goes onto the sear, there we go. We get there in the end. And of course, while it's in the set, you can go on to safe. Okay, right, now that we've got that part on, and that's on and ready to go, we've now got the lower there, let's start doing the back here. So what we are going to need to do is unscrew this little piece here, take out that bit, and take you. Now, this is basically just going to screw in here. This is what replaces your buffer tube. That just get cranked down there, okay? And at this point, we're going to need to put in our, say, rear takedown pin. Now that goes kind of like this, okay? So that's going to go with the cut facing that way. You can't get it wrong, and if you think you have, don't worry about it, okay? Rounded nose first, goes down here. We drop that in. We get our long spring here. And you should fit in here. Like that, okay? You'll know if you've got it right because you won't be able to rotate it anymore, okay? And it will be detained in. Right. Now comes the harder bit, okay? Because now we have to compact this spring. Okay, so now that I've got that pinned, it was a nightmare. I didn't want to put it on camera with all the swearing, but then we just put our buffer piece back in, and now we grab our little screw here and we can screw this all back down. Okay. Now you're going to want this metal bit to go in and you want to get it down tight. So if it takes you a little while, it takes you a little while to get it in. It's just important. And when you get it, just go friction fit. You don't need to go too tight, just enough, and there you go. You've now successfully converted the lower to an MCX, okay? And if you notice here, there's a little cut. We'll get into that in a moment. like it's a little bit shorter here at the top, and that is to accommodate this little piece here, but we'll get there. Now, of course, it's stock time. We're going to put that on. We have to. So let's get the right Allen key. Probably going to be you. If you think it's small, it usually is, so you need to go a little bit bigger. Now, one thing I will tell you is that I will take the certain parts off and re-thread lock them. I'm just doing this as a quick, this is kind of like how to do it quickly build, rather than a detail. Here we go, let's get you in to here. A fully detailed field strip and build with all the gluing in that. I would definitely recommend you thread lock everything. Alright. And there we go. We now have a stock ready to go. Now it should fold, but obviously with it being new, you're going to need to pull it at an angle. So you get your collapsing and folding stock, which is awesome. Can't wait for this. It's going to be awesome. Now, at this point, you can see you got your takedown pin there. We're going to need to punch that one forward one out. It's all in there nice and good. We're going to need to prep this lower for the upper, okay? So, let me get my little punch for that. Okie dokie. So the front pin here needs to be punched through. Okie dokie. So that pin's now out and your rear is now out and ready to receive. Okie dokie. No wobble at the rear, it's all well built, that's good. Like I say, you are going to want to thread lock things once you've got it settled and you know it's working well. You're going to want to thread lock every single part down. Okay, just FYI. So yeah, so you got your QD there, you got the QDs there, that's good. I mean, come on. Just seeing all the markings on this is just awesome. It's beautiful. So, we have everything there. Now, we need, first thing we're going to do is put some silicone oil. We're going to do that here. Okay, and then what you can do, using a punch, for instance here, just rub that in a little bit. Okay, some along here, help with the springs on that side and on that side. And all you're doing there is basically helping everything work and move in, as you can see. Now, while it's like this, we are going to do next is move you away. Don't need you for a bit. We are needing a small little Q-tip, which we can reuse in a moment. Okie dokie. And we need our super lube. Now, of course, people are going to say, I don't do it, you don't have to. Again, you do what you think is right, but that should be enough for what we've got planned here. And all I'm going to do, in order to make this look better and keep the finish as good as I can, is just a thin layer on the hammerhead. Okay. Doing this helps the bolt carrier glide right past, pushing it and resetting it smoothly without any issues. And I am going to put some around here, just because I know the autos here is going to be hitting that a lot. And with that, your lower is complete. Let's move that out of the way. Now, let's take this. We're going to pull on here. Again, everything is all fresh, so there it goes. Out you come. One bolt carrier group, one charging handle, and one upper receiver. Now, here, well, we've got it like this. What I am going to do is get this side done. Actually, what I will do, because it is actually worth doing now. Okay, well, I don't have to. They've already set the hop most of the way. What I would suggest you do when you build this is get it so that about 1 millimeter of the bucking is pushing down. Doing that allows you to basically set everything the way you need it to be set so that you don't over hop straight away, and it's a lot easier to find the zero. So I'm going to leave that there where it is. It's nice and stiff. You do have your steel insert screws, which are screwed in. That's great. And yeah, they're screwed in, pinned in there for you. So that's all right. We've got this here. So as you can see, we have this. So we're going to need to do the following again. So this is where we start to have fun when getting dirty. So on the auto sear piece here, this is what allows it to fire in its special modes. We just put some of that in there, allowing it to work in like that. Okay, doing that allows it to work in and not cause too much wear and tear on the finish or parts, which is good. Okie dokie, we get the super lube back, get our cotton bud again. Okie dokie. This one little bead should be enough for all, but we can put some there, some on here, and some down here. And then all I do is use this cotton bud to rub it in, okay? You don't need a lot. Believe it or not, this stuff is really good. You'll need a little bit. Obviously, paint, wear, and finish is part of it. If you're worried about that, don't buy anything in the first place because you're always going to have that worry. But if you're like me and you don't mind, because it adds to the charm of the gun and the weaponry, or whatever you want to call it. Again, some people don't like it when they say weapon, but it is. It's an airsoft weapon at the end of the day. It doesn't matter, you know. But yeah, so now that that's all lubed up, and we see that, we can now just shove that out of the view for a minute, and we can look at this. Now, one thing I do want to check is, does this have a end pass? And the computer says no. No end pass. So this is going to be hitting hot. Now, one of the tips I will give you is please make sure that your screw here is tight. Now, again, I'm not going to want to bother that much right now because obviously I am just putting this together, as I say, just for the purposes of this video. But what you would want to do is put your screw in there and make sure it is tight and it doesn't back out in or out. There's no movement or play. If there is, you're going to want to ease it out just a little bit, get a cocktail stick, a bit of thread lock, and just drip it in. Let it seep in and then tighten it down, crank it so it's tight. And that way it's not going to back out. Okay? But yeah, as you can see, this nozzle has the correct, I should say this bolt carrier assembly has all the correct markings, has all the correct pieces at the front. Slightly different on the APFG with the way it's connected here at the front, but everything is the same and it is interchangeable. Yes, it is. But yeah, you got the end cap here that's different. This is designed by the Army side of things. For SIG, they told them they wanted this, okay? So, why they wanted it? Well, they didn't want soldiers accidentally putting this onto an MCX lower, because if they wanted that, they would have just bought MCXs, right, guys? Okay. So we kind of know there, right? And I'm going to get this just for funsies a little bit. Now I know wear and tear, you can already see it, so I'm going to put some here. This will help smooth out this area. Okay. That's what you want to do. You don't need a lot, just need a little bit. I'm going to do some on this side because obviously this wear and tear happens everywhere. A bit too much there. That should be enough. Okay. So we can just put some there on the nub in here and down the back because it will rub. It usually does. Okay. Now that we've done that, the last thing is the O-ring. That needs a little bit of TLC. So you can check that. As you can see, it has some, but we're just going to give it a little bit more. We're going to give it the rails a little bit down here just to help it side in. Okay. Now that we've done that, we've got the upper ready to go. Hang on, I tell a lie. We do need to add a bit of grease on here. This is just part and parcel of it. So a little bead here, and then all we do is here on the lug here, because it's going to go down the shaft, here on that, on the top here, like this, around the front. And then you can just guide it down here, guide a bit here. Just stops it from all getting worn, as it will wear. It's part and parcel of it. Again, makes it last longer. I do like the charging handle. It is slightly different than APFG's, although it is based off the exact same system. So, put that like that. We grab our carrier group, we put that in there, and everything gets locked in. And she's all ready to go. Now it's time for the fun bit. Let's put the two halves together, and let's do a quick test. So, I'm going to take this off. I can't put them on camera. Again, some things I can and can't do. Okay, so with a little bit of persuasion, the front pin is in. We can now bring down the rear. Now, as you can see, that little bit there was designed that on an MCX it would be closed, so you couldn't close the receiver on a full MCX. Now, of course, we want this to close, so we've done that. And now we should be able to put it through. And again, very little wobble or minimal play in there, which is great, which means I can shim this if I need to in the future, which is awesome. But there we have it. Move it to semi. And we go here. Everything is working perfectly as it should be. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Now, before we put the suppressor on at the end, we can get rid of all these tool area bits now because we don't need much. She's looking awesome. Yep, get rid of you. Let's put the lid on the super lube. Let's tidy up a little bit because a tidy workspace is a healthy workspace, as they say. Which is awesome. Put you down there, you out there. And we can close up the lube bit there. That can go there for now. Okay. All right. So now that we've got everything here sort of better tightened and tidied up, just got to put all these Allen keys away that we're not going to need now. This is the worst part of having everything ready and building something is always the tidy up part afterwards. So, let's get you in there, and one last thing, so you there. Okay, so what we are going to need is obviously the Allen key to put the equipment on, so let's do that, shall we? So we can take that off, we can get rid of the screwdriver now. I'm not going to need you. Great kit if you want one. Get yours from Costco today because they're really good. Okie dokie. I mean, come on, doesn't that look freaking amazing already? Just a beautiful piece of kit. Right. So, obviously we're going to need to put a light on there, aren't we? So, I like the gas block up there, so that's going to mean I can, in theory, swap the connecting piece on this light switch to the M-lock one now. So I need the thinner one here for these. So we can just undo you. Okay, pull you through. There we go. Right, you can go back in the bag for future use. Okay, we'll need you now. So, while I'm holding this, I'm obviously going to have it here. So the light switch is going to go on the furthest one back for me. That's just the way I naturally hold it. So, if we aim it right, okay. Now, you have two ways of doing this. You can do it like this, which is going to be my way, and then we're going to go under. Okay, obviously we're going to need to cable tidy that. At some point, I do have some sort of like ties later that I can find. Yeah, we can put you there. Okay, grab the Allen key, and hopefully this will tighten itself down. Because the Wansan clones are really good because they do have good detents in there that work better. I've had several clone switches and M-lock sections that don't, and you have to put all different forces on there. Now, so that's in there, and that's going to go round and in. Okay. Now, of course, we have a lovely set here. We're going to need to get the light on there. Now, we have my 10 one here, and I want it as far forward as possible. So if we put you on there, okie dokie. Basically, the further forward that you have this, sorry, get that in frame for you, but the further forward you have your lights, the more light you get to see, okay? That's one of the issues a lot of people see, is when they fit a light on it, they put it too far back and you get a shadow from the muzzle device at the front. Now, we have ours up there as far forward as possible because of this kit. And I know this would suit an LVPO, and I have ordered one. I've caved in. But for now, I think a little red dot will go well for testing. Okie dokie. So let's move you forward. We can tighten this down nicely there. It's going to be great. And we now have a light, we have a laser. Obviously, I am going to put a foregrip, I should say an angled, or I might just use a hand stop here. Again, all these things are in the post. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. Right, and now let's take a look at this, shall we? So they did use Torx bits. We didn't need to put this kit away after all. So that would be right. Now with this paint, you are going to wear it out. Anyone who says you don't, you will. You will always go, obviously have marks and so on it. It's just part and parcel of it. And it's about accepting that. And like I say, even the SOCOM boys knew it, and they don't put this cage on it, you know? So it's all good. And just undo you, and then this one can be just done by hand. There you go. Now, of course, you're going to want to do it carefully because you don't want to really wreck. Just gently, not putting too much pressure on it, and take that off, okay? As you can see, you have your bits here. We're going to put those back in later. And there you go. This is their SLX, tracer unit, which is great. Like I say, I'm going to get some heat wrap, just like the SOCOM boys do, and put that on. Now, one good thing here, if you have a unit in there, a light up unit, that's where that actually screws on. Can you see that there? You can fit it to this. I like that. It means it's not going to be shaking or rattled around in here, and you just take out the amount of foam section you need. And I've got one just for that. So I'm glad that that works. Just wanted to show that. Yes, I know, it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard. But hey, okie dokie. Let me do that. Just for the purposes of this test fire piece, or part of it. Come on, there we go. Now, I've not scratched the paint, as other people say that they've done, so your mileage may vary. Yeah, and like I say, as I said in the unboxing part of it, there has been another channel that did a unboxing / review, but they used the MCX lower, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the SURG kit. It was designed not to, but when SIG got the first batch back from the military side, the initial one from 2018, they immediately, I'll just put that in there so we can get this stabilized. They immediately, like say, modified the internals, they repaired it, serviced it, and that made them look new for going out. But obviously, some of the parts that they did for civilian allowed them to continue down that road of making it MCX compatible. I mean, there's not really much. There's just a few things like a bolt carrier swap, as they say, with a standard MCX bolt carrier, and you could do that on the real steel. But in Airsoft, it's kind of works. It doesn't matter, but your mileage may vary. I just know that for me, it was meant on an M4A1. That's how it is to be clone correct, and that's how we're doing it. Now, I'm going to put this on there, so bear with me. Okay. There we go. As you can see, my light's like a bit big for this can, so when I take that can off, I can move the light a bit further forward. And what I'm going to do is take the cage off the front, obviously. But for now, it'll do. Here we go. So, let's get everything packed up, and let's go and test this out. Okay guys, so as you can see, this thing absolutely looks beautiful, works great, and it's just a cool invention. So I really love what SIG have done with this. Obviously, like I say, you're going to make some modifications to your setup, and I know I'm going to make some down the line. This whole idea of converting M4A1 lowers into MCXs is just phenomenal. and I can't wait to get this out in the battlefield and see how she performs out there. But yeah, this is just absolutely amazing. So I'd love to know deep down in the comments below what you guys think. Please let me know what you want me to see do with this, because this is absolutely awesome. I probably will show you the MCX working and all that stuff in the full review and all that. And like I said, I'll go into a full detail about where this all comes from and what this originally was designed to replace and actually did replace. The reason why we have all these lowers. But yeah, it's stunning. I'm really excited. This has been one of the most expensive builds I bought on the channel because the kit alone retails at a very high price. But then to add the low receiver on there and all the other parts, you can imagine this is not a cheap build. So definitely one to watch, as they say. So yeah, as always, I've been Middle Aged Gamer. You guys have been amazing. Do all the YouTube like, comment, and subscribe stuff. And like I say, if you really want to help this channel, as this video itself won't be monetized due to YouTube's terms and services. So it really appreciate your help with the YouTube thanks. So with all that, I'll see you in the next one.